Preservation Evoker blasts and is a blast. There's no sugarcoating it. This build is insane on the Midnight Beta right now. So how does it work? Well, we're going to be trimming time off of our Dream Breath because we no longer have Spirit Bloom. But in Spirit Bloom's absence, there are a lot of modifiers to our Dream Breath to make it just do so much more healing. Things like expanded lungs, kind of seeing like a more simple approach. There's also an additional charge of Dream Breath, so we're going to have that up more frequently to do big healing. And guys, I know it's season 1, and season 1 tier sets aren't that sexy. However, I think what's setting Preservation Evoker apart right now is their tier set and how it plays into the build. So Consume Flame is a little bit more fancy this season. So Verdant Embrace can consume some of your Dream Breath Hot to do a big burst heal, or Emerald Blossom can as well. And the raid build is really abusing that Emerald Blossom. However, the Mythic Plus build, you don't have to take these Emerald Blossom talents because of your tier set. Like I said, your tier set is actually fantastic because you're going to be Verdant Embracing an ally, popping some of that Dream Breath Hot, doing a big burst of healing as well. And then on top of that, your 4 set's going to cause an Emerald Blossom to spawn underneath them, further popping more of that Hot, doing a big AoE burst as well. I mean, guys, this build heals a ton. 1 second, you're breathing fresh, minty breezes all over your allies, and then you're breathing fire like Uncle Iroh on your enemies. It is just chef's kiss of design with Flameshaper Evoker. Let's get into the key. All right, we are in Algothar Academy. Look, I have been trying to record this video for literally over almost a whole day. The servers, the people, everything's been so bad. But the one thing that's been constant, and that's been good, constantly good, is Preservation Evoker. Man, it just feels fantastic around every corner. So I'm going to do a lot of talking about the build. I feel like I shouldn't get a haste buff on Pres Evoker. Maybe like a mastery or crit buff would probably be better. But anyways, look, I really love the changes that they've done. I love that you can now play Flameshaper in Mythic Plus, and it feels phenomenal. Like, it absolutely feels phenomenal. The reduced cooldown of your Dream Breath on top of having now you can have 2 charges of it. Uh-oh, what is this pool? What on earth? It honestly, it feels so good. Feels so good. Also, I was worried that I would lack, or I would miss Spirit Bloom, but I mean, you just don't. You just really don't miss Spirit Bloom. It feels so good now that they've like front-loaded more of Dream Breath's healing, which you don't have to like charge it up all the way to get that. On top of that, like, one thing that I was kind of worried about is Call of Ysera, which is this talent here. It used to work like you would Verdant Embrace and follow that up with a Dream Breath to empower that Dream Breath, but now it doesn't work that way. It just flat buffs your Dream Breath's healing even further, which looks really good with Flameshaper. And then on top of that, they've basically reversed Call of Ysera and turned it into the tier set. So now instead of, oh goodness, we got some aggro issues going about. Let's go and knock these guys. Instead of embracing and then dream breathing, you dream breath and then snap it with embrace, which feels much, much better. You can apply the hot before the damage and then snap it after the damage, which feels just way better than using your Verdant Embrace to just, you know, enable your hot, which felt actual backwards, like legitimately backwards. I don't, do I lust? When do I lust with these kinds of pools? It feels very odd here. But also one great thing about Pres Evoker is that now having 2 charges of Dream Breath and 2 charges of Fire Breath, it's fantastic because you can kind of use a Dream Breath early in the pool. That way you have that hot effect on everyone throughout the pool. And then you have that second charge on reserve for when you need your like Spirit Bloom-esque front-loaded healing Dream Breath, which is just like phenomenal. To me, it's almost like this was the obvious answer that no one was recommending, at least not that I saw. Like, I wasn't thinking that they should do this to Evoker, but now that they have, I'm like, this was just the right answer. Like, it just feels so much better. But one other thing that I think is kind of like showing its showing right now, we have aggro issues left and right. I hope this tank is gonna be okay for the whole key because, man, I've tried to record this for a long time. But one thing that's very obvious coming from all the other healers to this healer is that all of the healers, most of the specs in the game, during Season 1, they get what I call a Season 1 tier set. Maybe that makes sense to you already without me having to explain it, but what I mean when I say that specs have Season 1 tier sets is usually your Season 1 tier sets are not anything special. They don't do anything like crazy. They're just very basic, like maybe modifiers to some spells, like this hot heals more, you know, or like this spot heal does more healing. Or sometimes they're a little bit more interactive, like after you press this, your next hot will heal more, you know. However, Evoker's current Midnight tier set is, as far as I know, like the most dynamic one. It buffs your Verdant Embrace, which is kind of the modifier I'm talking about, but it also reduces its cooldown, which is fantastic, and it spawns a Spirit Bloom. And with how that works with the new Consume Flame, where both your Verdant Embrace and Spirit Bloom are going to be proccing your Consume Flame, like you just, it comes together to make a massive burst. It turns your Verdant Embrace into a single target and an AoE burst of healing, which is just fantastic. I should not be deep breathing this one. I should definitely be doing the second one, but we'll be okay. We need to stack up again. But yeah, I mean, it feels like it has so far, in a world where pruning is very prominent and definitely an issue, we need to external the tank and rewind. In a world where pruning is kind of the big talk, the spec that's going to feel the least pruned is probably going to win out, in my opinion. And obviously, like, tuning plays into it much more than pruning, but you know, to me, it just makes sense that, like, if a spec just feels more complete and well-rounded, that spec will play a lot better, right? In a post-pruning world. And so far, that, at least to me, is looking like the case. Like, the changes to Consume Flame, and on top of the new tier set, like, both of them behaving how they do together is just, like, night and day from some of the other specs tier sets, you know what I mean? And if you go back and look at some of the other healer tier sets, they are... Oh, that cast went off. Uh-oh. Good luck. If you go and look at some of the other healers tier sets, like, they are very mediocre, you know? Which is okay. It's okay. It's just when you have one that is significantly more beneficial to the healer than the rest, that it definitely shows. It definitely shows in the gameplay. Live, but you see just how much we're able to affect bars, health bars, and it's really cool that your dream. Oh no, the tank went down. Oh no, the first domino falls and we all fall. Yikes. But it really does show in the gameplay, like, how much you're able to move bars is kind of unique to this spec so far. I will say, like, regrowth specifically comes to mind as another heal that actually is impacting bars very heavily. Like, you can really feel the oomph of the bars. But, like, and especially those AoE regrowths that you get from your new Soul of the Forest, I think, that AoE regrowth really cranks. It's basically like a mini Shayloon's gift. Kind of same with your, whenever you Verdant Embrace while you have a Dream Breath Hot out. It feels fantastic. On top of that, the changes to like quality of life are, like I said earlier, some of the changes are just obvious. They should have been in the game since day one, and the quality of life improvements that they've seen, we need this guy to stack in. The quality of life improvements that Evoker is seeing, like, you see this much wider arcing Dream Breath. Whoa. The 2 charges of Fire Breath, 2 charges of, like, all of these quality of life, you know, esque things are just, they all build up and make this spec just feel so much more fluid and behave so much more fluid. But yeah, I mean, it's so hard to miss your party. Like, there, I guess I did miss the mage, but he was so egregiously out of position there that it's like, it takes a lot to miss, you know, nowadays. So it is phenomenal. It is phenomenal as opposed to, like, where it was before. Oh man, we are killing the ad very slowly. We're standing and stuff. Come on, team. All right, surely the third time's the charm, right? Come on, this is like the easy boss in the dungeon. What are we doing? What are we doing? I know this group is literally failing all the mechanics. Man, you know, I feel like every single dungeon in this dungeon pool has a boss where there's a cast that is so important that you just can't let it go off. Which is kind of the opposite of what we were told would happen, right? Like, am I crazy? It feels like the exact opposite. Okay, I am going to save my deep breath. Let's get a fat fire breath off. Maybe I should have held the fire breath for this guy. But that's okay. Hopefully our DPS have their cooldowns ready. Let's see. Does this healing touch cast go off? No, it does not. Very nice. On top of that, you've already seen in this dungeon just how many... Oh, the tank didn't stand in the heal. You've seen how many swirlies there are in just this dungeon alone. I mean, this is like a swirly central dungeon pool, right? And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because Evoker used to like be allergic to swirl. Obviously, everyone's allergic to swirlies, but Evoker used to really struggle in swirly heavy dungeons because it kind of limited how you could use your main heal in Verdant Embrace. Well, the new talent that... Oh, no. The new talent that separates your Verdant Embrace from your body is beautiful. What I mean by that is, like, if you watch, I'm going to Verdant Embrace the mage here. I don't fly to him. Instead, I send, like, a little image of my body to go and heal him and to be the Verdant Embrace. It is just phenomenal. Uh-oh, we have aggro. Aggro. Tank. Let's go ahead and rewind. We need everyone in. Our tank is just did not get that memo, but I guess that's okay. If there's anyone you don't mind to get that memo, it's the tank, right? We need some serious healage, though. There's one thing Evoker can do right. It is some serious healage. I mean, come on. What other healer could have saved that? Like, I don't think... I just don't think there is another healer that could have saved that. But it's looking... I don't want to jinx it, but it's looking like we might actually make it past the easiest boss in the dungeon, which is progress. That is progress. Do we even need to kill this ad? Yes, we do. Let's go and get a stasis. Oh, no, we have aggro again. Look at that, dude. That new talent that, like, changes how your stasis works, too, is so sick. Dude, okay, we all did the mechanic, and now that's the first time I've seen that mechanic done well. It doesn't give me high hopes for the rest of this dungeon, but realistically, like, this is kind of the boss in the dungeon that has a mechanic like this, where, like, everyone needs to kind of be on the right page, right? The rest of it I can basically just brute force out heal it, I'm hoping, so... and we are on the right spec to do that. But yeah, like I said earlier, this is the healer that just feels like it has the most, like, well-rounded stuff. And I do think that, you know, Evoker was designed to be... Alright, we're going back. Evoker was designed to be a spec where it has, like, smaller cooldowns instead of, like, big, you know, apotheosis-style cooldowns. They were designed to where... You know, you're going to have Dream Breath, you're going to have Spirit Bloom, and those are going to be like 30-second, 15-second cooldowns that you're going to, like, weave in your main rotational abilities to kind of, like, keep up. And you can stack them on top of each other. And now it really, really kept that identity in a fantastic way. On top of that, like, our damage is not anything to scoff at. Like, you see these Living Flames, they actually crack. Like, they do 60k a hit almost, and... man, when I am on my Mistweaver trying to do the whole caster build and you see your Crackling Jade Lightnings tick for 3,000 damage, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm also kind of surprised. I'm recording this video on Wednesday now. Now it's Wednesday. I started on Tuesday, but now it's Wednesday evening, and they did not have any balance tuning this week. Usually Tuesdays, even on beta... They do big balance tuning on Tuesdays, and I was absolutely shocked when I woke up yesterday and did not see any balance tuning. I mean, seeing how there's like a few healers that are doing very well, than some healers that are kind of like, they're not even worth playing, if I'm being honest, on the beta just yet. It's kind of baffling to me. that the tuning is, you know, waiting. I get it. There's like so much they need to work on, and they just announced that March 2nd is going to be the release date for Midnight, like actual. They're like, now they have a clock, and that, you know, a little bit of tuning week to week probably is not going to be their biggest priority when they have an entire UI system to set up. So I get it. I definitely do. However, as a Mistweaver player, dude, I just want them to fix our ancient teachings. Just make our ancient teachings do more, or make our kicks, punches and kicks do more damage is really what they should do. And that way we can play our Mistweaver and be happy again. But for the time being, guys, I'm not going to lie. A lot of you have requested for this video, a lot. Like, I've seen so many people requesting Holy Paladin and Prez Evoker. And now I see why. I definitely see why. If I were, at this point, if I were to say, if I were to ever swap specs in Midnight, what would I swap to? These are the big two. Oh, tank, live. Like, Prez Evoker and Holy Paladin so far have absolutely dunked on any expectations that I set for them. Like, they both feel phenomenal. And I have only played Herald of the Sun Holy Paladin. I'm even more excited to play Lightsmith Holy Paladin, which I should be recording tonight. It should come out, you know, in the following days. But yeah, I really have to thank you guys for the beta support. So many of you have been commenting down below when I'm like, hey, what do you guys want to see next? So many of you guys have been providing input that has been, no, aggro. It has been, it's really been guiding the content. I know, I feel like I can, like I'm giving you guys what you want to watch when you respond, when you say like, when you say what you want to see next. So I very much appreciate it. Y'all are fantastic. I always say it, but I have, if not the best community, I know I at least have the best viewers. Like, if you wouldn't consider yourself part of my community, I do think that, at least, like, my viewers are just the best. You guys are so awesome, so kind, giving such good feedback, and a lot of, okay, this mage is being a little toxic, but I do get it. Like, tank is losing aggro a ton to him. But it's no need to be toxic. But yeah, I mean, you guys have been fantastic. So, with that being said, if there's another healer that or another build, I should say, because we're about out of healers to test, right? On a video, at least. If there's another healer or build that you guys want to see in a video and want to see me showcase and talk about and discuss in a video, much like this one, definitely leave that down below. I mean, you guys are... you guys have driven the content thus far, so just if there's something that I kind of missed out or skimmed over, it looks like I haven't gotten to it yet, push me in that direction. I promise you it will move to the top of my radar in terms of what to play. As far as this key goes, I should say, it doesn't look like we are going to time the key, but that is a-okay. I'm going to time my Verdant Embrace for that Screech. Yeah, all the mishaps on the first boss, like, I just feel like there were multiple people that don't fully know the mechanics, and that's fine. I did list this group as relaxed, not as competitive, which I guess is my problem. Oh, goodness. Stop typing. Play the game. We're fine. But yeah, I am having a ton of fun on the Prez Evoker. It's kind of been a blessing and a curse that all the keys that I've done on the Prez Evoker so far have been absolutely botched. Like, I had 2 keys where I got disconnected. I had 2 keys where our tank left, and then this is the 5th attempt of a key. And although we've botched the first boss, it is the best of a bad bunch, right? Like, it was not going well. Let's see what kind of damage we can squeeze in here. During this little damage amp. Not horrible damage. I mean, this is like the first healer that I've been able to get beyond like 1500 DPS, right? Like, it is, I guess, what is that damage done? Never mind, that's damage. I'm stupid. I was about to say, dude, all the healers' damage have been pretty pitiful, I would say. I haven't made it to Disc Priest yet. That is the final healer I have yet to test. But other than that, like, all the healers' damage is still... that we are really feeling that stat squish. Especially those of us that heal off of our damage. Like, man, you feel like you were doubly nerfed as a Mistweaver, in my opinion. It is just rough. It is big old rough. But that's okay. Yeah, this mage is being really annoying to the tank, and now it's causing the tank to stand and stuff because he's probably typing back. I cannot stand when people do that. Like when they die to type just because they want to like prove a point or something. Ooh, it's like one of my top pet peeves, man. But luckily, you know, just our Dream Breath alone is enough to heal this boss. This boss is severely undertuned on beta compared to what it used to be. Like on live, this boss was like a force to be reckoned with, man. But the whole like the whole loss of like Lifebind. I know Lifebind is still in the game. It still kind of works the same way, except now you can't echo. Like if you echo a Verdant Embrace, those echoed people don't also get Lifebind, which was how Preservation Evoker did so many crazy ramps in both Mythic Plus and Raid. The lack of that had me nervous. It definitely had me nervous for how the healing of Preservation Evoker would be. I was like, without Lifebind being a crazy little ramp thing that you could do with your like Temporal Anomaly into Verdant Embrace to spread your Lifebind, without that, I thought, man, it is going to be a shell of itself. But honestly, it's not that bad. Turns out, if you remove stupid, annoying modifiers and amplifiers and just make base spells heal a good amount, it turns out the healer's gonna heal a good amount with those base spells. So who would have thought? Like I feel like we're literally reinventing the wheel here, but it's kind of just the case. I mean, but like I said, I do really like Lifebind. I love Lifebind. I loved what you could do with Emerald Communion. But with the removal of Emerald Communion, I feel like it's going to make me miss Lifebind much less, because that kind of was the fuel to the fire of Lifebind. I guess Lifebind was the fuel to the fire of Emerald Communion, right? Let's get those guys knocked up. Hopefully the surges get handled. No, they don't. They, of course, cast at me, so love to see that. Oh, I am stressing. Get out of the frontals, please. Stop pulling more. What are we doing? Killing me, Smalls. Absolutely killing me. But luckily, I don't have to fly through that frontal to Verdant Embrace my tank. I mean, that is like... that is Chef's Kiss of a talent. That is insane. And it is an option node. And I feel like, honestly, I feel like both options are great options. If you want a harder hitting Verdant Embrace that doesn't put you out of position to cast it, you can take that. Or if you want to risk it, you get a second charge of Verdant Embrace. And I feel like both are honestly great options. Like, there are use cases for both. Okay, yeah, that guy had aggro. I did not really know how to save him from that last bit of damage. I need to use my defensive here. I mean, just look at how you're able to stabilize health bars. It's crazy. It almost is like, in my opinion at least, so far, like, Pres Evoker and Resto Druid are kind of standing out. Oh, come on. You gotta know not to stand there, but whatever. Pres Evoker and Resto Druid are standing out in the fact that, like, they are the two healers that can do that. They can manage all 5 health bars while bouncing the 1 health bar back the most. It feels like a lot of spells aren't healing as much as you would hope in the game right now. Great examples are like Vivify. I feel like Vivify could definitely stand to heal a lot more, but I think they nerfed it down so they could really kind of separate it. And Shaylin's gets Identity. I really feel like that's what they were doing, and they're further going to tune it, and I hope they do. But also Holy Shock. Playing on the Holy Paladin, Holy Shock's healing in specific, I think Holy Shock's damage is like relatively fine, right? Classic Feral has a more complex rotation than this. Is crazy. But I think Holy Shock's damage is fine, but Holy Shock's healing is not... It was very unimpressive. But luckily, everything else about Holy Paladin and Evoker is fine. Yeah, what do you guys think? What from what you've either playtested yourself or seen others playtest, what have been like the standout builds that you've seen? Like to me, like Flameshaper is kind of like up there. It's at least like top 2, top 3 healers for me, or hero talents for me. But what to you, what in y'all's opinion is like the standout build? Or a better question would be, what is the sleeper build? What do you think people are sleeping on? For me, at least with modern tuning or current tuning, I think that the saving grace to Mistweaver is like the hots and stuff. And I feel like the hots are cranking. Shayloon's cranks in the new talent, the tea where if you drink the tea, it just like gives you Shayloon stacks back. That talent's crazy in Mythic Plus, and I feel like people are sleeping on it. I think, dude, Caster Monk right now is unfortunately a sleeper pick. Just because I'm so unimpressed with Fistweaver, though. It has nothing to do with Caster being super good. It's everything to do with Fistweaver being very unimpressive. Ugh. But yeah, it's for me. I'm just super happy that as a Evoker, you can now play Flameshaper in dungeons and not be trolling. I am such a big Flameshaper fan. Like, I'm even more of a fan of Flameshaper now that it's kind of like gotten this little mini rework and they've removed Engulf, which is crazy. Isn't it crazy that they are literally removing spells that they have built whole hero talent trees off of? Like, that is a great example is Engulf being removed, but also like Premonition. Removing Premonition is like crazy. And keeping it as like passives and just giving you like extra charges of things is like, I mean, it works. It literally does similar jobs, but man, Premonition and Engulf to an extent were kind of like little mini cooldowns that you would plan your cooldowns around. Ooh, okay, I'm noticing that I'm running low on mana. All these Living Flame casts are really starting to chew away my mana bar, so I'm going to start trying to weave in some Disintegrates. However, this pool is not a good one to do that, so let's stun everything. Let's boop everything. And let's do one last boop. That is all the CC I can do, and now I'm asleep. Please. Yep. This is not a pull you do in Midnight, by the way. Unless you have organized CC, you do not do this pool. But that's okay. You live and you learn. At least now you spawn at this boss, so you can just fly right over instead of having to run all the way around. Yeah, I mean, lots of mistakes with this group with how things are going and stuff, but I am not like too pressed about that. That is not what these videos are about, and I feel like you guys have been so supportive with this like little mini series of me testing all the healers and stuff and kind of showcasing all the healers. Is I feel like we all are under the same understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we're kind of all under the same understanding that these videos aren't to see a successful key. Like, I could care less if I time a key on the beta, especially one that I've timed on, like, I've literally timed 12 Algathar on, I think, all of the other healers so far, except for Priest. So, like, I do not care if we time these keys. That's not what we're showcasing. We are showcasing the build, the interactions. I'm giving my input on the build and interactions. Yeah, and pulls like this are ones that, like, what can you do? You just get... I tried everything in the book to keep these casts from going off, and then the one that does puts me to sleep and we die to bolts, you know? Like, literally, what can you do? But it's okay. It is okay. I did put Relax. This guy said he's, like, kind of learning. He's also trying to relearn Prot Warrior. Like, I am not super pressed. Trying to get this guy off of our mage. Just gonna pop it offensive. Time dilate the tank. I will say, having this tank is keeping me in a good habit of time dilating my tank. I feel like I've... Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like I've barely sat at 2 charges of time dilation this whole key. just because I'm spamming that sucker on the tank. And it's funny, one of you guys commented on my druid video and said, "Dude, I did not see you cast Iron Fur a single time, or Iron Bark a single time. Is that like, are you doing that on purpose? Like, what's the reason? Like, here's my response. I basically said, look, I wish there was like a smart reason, like I'm not using my defensives during testing because I want to see the incoming damage. Like, that would be really cool if I was that smart and that good. However, the truth is that I'm trying to talk and trying to like learn new interactions and stuff, that a lot of things just kind of fall out of my brain. There's only room for enough, or so much, you know? So a lot of things have been falling out of my brain, and part of that across some of the healers has been, I just forget to use a defensive. Realistically, I just forget to use a defensive because I'm so focused on what damage is incoming. I'm not really thinking about how to counteract it as much. Yikes. Okay, I feel like the battle axes, they put like a stacking debuff on you, right? Or at least they used to. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into like what all these guys do nowadays compared to what they used to do. But I think that's what they did. Or maybe it's like a stacking damage taken debuff or something. That sounds right. Also, we have mana food. Oh my goodness. Mage is my favorite spec in the game. But yeah, one talent that I'm really interested to like mess around with more is like Inner Flame. I feel like it's gonna go crazy and be like a big central part of their raid build. However, in Mythic Plus, it is kind of hard to like really plan to play around it and to like get as much value out of those essence bursts and stuff. Really trying to control these casts though. Nice, we got kicks. Love to see it. Yeah, so far, like I am very, very impressed with Evoker. Like, you just have an answer for any amount of incoming damage and any pattern of incoming damage. Is it like AoE plus single target at the same time? Perfect. Verdant Embrace after a Dream Breath. Chef's Kiss. Is it just single target? Perfect. Echo into Verdant Embrace. Boom. Echo into Dream Breath, into Echo, into Verdant Embrace. Like, you can just mix and match your spells, and it just feels so much cleaner now. It's like, you know how everyone, including myself, whenever they make a tier list of which healer was the easiest healer and stuff, the reason why they wouldn't put Evoker like super easy is because of like things like stasis and how hard they are to mix and match. Like, there are so many different ways that you can do a stasis. It's crazy. But nowadays, it's like kind of not like as crazy. Like, you don't have Engulf now to like money up the conversation. You don't have Spirit Bloom. You just have the one spender. I say spender, you guys know what I mean. The one empowered spell. Let's go ahead and stasis. Do that. I feel like stasis, temporal anomaly, reversion, dream breath is going to be a good stasis. Or dream breath, temporal anomaly, verdant embrace. I feel like that's going to be the better one. Oh, jumped right into the puddle. I will say, with all of the corrections that they have done to Evoker, like making your Dream Breath cone much bigger, I believe they also made your Temporal Anomaly fatter, I want to say. Like, isn't that little sphere a little fatter nowadays? I think it is. Oh, goodness. I think it is fatter, but I mean, they could make it much fatter. If you're already kind of like much less punished for your group being so fanned out, why not just go ahead and remove that in entirety? You know what I mean? See how massive your Dream Breath is? Like, it's kind of hard to miss more than one person on your Dream Breath. I mean, hey, I'm someone who can find a way, but it's at least harder than it was before. Alright, let's get this boss dead so we can move on. We have seen enough. No, mage! It's not what we wanted to see, man. I mean, it is just beautiful. It is just beautiful. Earlier, I was doing a key. I wish that this was the key that made it into the video because it was going so well until I DC'd and then the group left. But I had a Brewmaster, and if you've seen my recent videos, you saw that Brewmaster is actually... I don't know if it's bugged. It's so hard to tell what's a bug and what's just an unintended feature at this point. But how Brewmaster is showing on the details meters right now, I believe is broken. I believe it's not what they were going for. But Brewmaster is showing staggered damage done to themselves as both healing and damage. So really, Brewmaster looks like they're popping off. You're like, oh my god, Brewmaster's doing so much damage right now. But then you look at the meters and you see it's all staggered. You're like, oh, they're just doing that damage to themselves. Okay. And then you're like, oh my god, their self-healing's crazy. But it's just showing damage staggered as self-healing. I just time dilated myself. No. So Brewmaster's like broken right now, right? But all that to say, I was doing a key as Prez Evoker last night. Trying to record it, trying to put it in this video, but yeah, circumstances, you know. And I was out healing the Brewmaster. I was like, dude, sick. I feel like that shouldn't be happening right now, but it is. So, it goes to show how crazy this spec can be. Like you see, our healing done is very, very good. Obviously, our healing done would be much different looking if we had a Blood Death Knight or like a Vengeance Demon Hunter, for example. Those two tanks really do a lot of self-healing. Prot Warrior does like a fine amount of self-healing. It's nothing like crazy. It's nothing to define them, you know. But they do enough to where like I still feel pretty accomplished like doing this much more healing than them, you know. Just me personally. But guys, I want to take a moment to thank a bunch of you, like those of you who have commented saying like what healer you want to see next. You have no idea how supportive that is. It's insane. It really shows me what you guys want to see, and that helps me a lot, especially as a small content creator. On top of that, I want to give a very big shout out to Ceiling Panda, one of my viewers on my Twitch stream, who was tuned in to one of our streams the other day. And I was mentioning how I missed the functionality of details where you could see your spells cast in the order you cast them in. And Ceiling Panda is a genius. He was like, oh, I could probably make an app for that. Like, I could probably make an add-on for you to use on the beta. And he did. In literally 15 minutes, he put together this thing up here so you can see from left to right the spells I'm casting in order. I guess let me cast a Fire Breath now so you see like which order they're going in. But it is fantastic and such an upgrade for the viewer experience, in my opinion. Like, now you guys can easily see which spells I'm casting and the order I'm casting them in, kind of get an idea, or a better idea, I should say, for what is going on. And huge shout out, huge shout out to Ceiling Panda. It's just like, that is phenomenal. To me, that is like a massive upgrade to the viewer experience. But you guys can let me know about that. Like, is it a lot better now that you can see what I'm doing and kind of like why I'm doing it? You can't really see the target of what I'm doing because I think that's what they don't want to happen in Midnight. Oh, I'm flying right into that. Oh no. But it's much better than seeing nothing, right? So yeah, we definitely need to stasis this. So we're gonna stasis Temporal Anomaly, Dream Breath, and yeah, we did kind of... I was a little late. I should not have Deep Breath there. That was a big ballsy Deep Breath. Let's go Invert Embrace the tank. Time Dilate the tank as well. Defensive myself. It's kind of weird how they've basically taken every spec that had 2 defensives and kind of meshed them into one. Granted, every spec kind of has like 1 major defensive, then like 1 minor. Oh god. Oh no, this is definitely a wipe. Unless... But what they did for Evoker is they took your Renewing Blaze, which was the spell that said... Renewing Blaze was like, you pop it, and then like the damage that you take over the next few seconds is now going to like kind of be healed back to you. They basically took that button away and just turned it into a passive stacked on top of your defensive. So now you still have 2 charges of your defensive, but on top of that, your defensive isn't just defensiving, it's also self-healing. Oh my goodness, people. We've made this dungeon go on like twice as long as it should have, which is just insanity. And of course, I get the aggro. This is crazy. Oh man, I don't mind it. As long as you guys don't mind it, I don't mind it at all. Y'all know I can yap as long as I need to, so I think we're golden in that category. Those little jumper guys are going to come in and just absolutely wreck our day. Oh, they ported. Okay. I guess that works. I guess they got snapped to us. But yeah, I do have aggro on them. Oh man, I've been playing Frost at Night all day. If you haven't seen already, I am doing a series, like a push series on stream with Definitely Not Vlad, a DPS content creator. And we've basically role swapped. So he's having to learn, like, Holy Priest, and I'm having to learn Frost Death Knight. And I am someone who has never DPS before. So just, like, becoming the enemy has been so much fun to me. But I'm going to go ahead and pop my defensive. That way it'll reduce the damage I take and then heal me back for that damage, like I was saying earlier. And that works out very nicely, actually. And we can kind of sit on our stasis for the most part until we get to like this next pool, depending on how the tank wants to aggro. But we're coming up on the end of the dungeon, and I can already say, like, look, this dungeon was super sloppy. Super sloppy, but it had nothing to do with Prez Evoker or Prez's capabilities of healing a dungeon. On top of that, like, I am still really enjoying this damage rotation. I loved when Prez Evoker first came out, and Fire Breath and Deep Breath did, like, they giga cranked damage. They did so much damage that first season in Dragonflight. I absolutely loved Prez Evoker back then, and now it feels like they're kind of doing the same with, since you can play Flameshaper, all of the, like, modifiers to your Fire Breath really feel fantastic. Did you guys just see how much we just moved health bars there? That is insanity. That is insanity. Look, when they do a major stat squish of how much damage and how much healing all of these healers are doing, two spells that are going to remain fantastic post stat squish are Golden Hour, the proc on your reversions, and Rewind. I mean, like, they can never nerf unless they like Giga Gut Rewind. They'll never nerf it to be bad. Like, it's always going to be one of the best healing cooldowns in the game. Like, just because of how it scales off of incoming damage. Like, that way of scaling something means that you're now scaling to the content. You're not scaling to your character. You know how, like, currently our characters are kind of capped at, like, 529 item level, kind of? Well, bosses aren't capped at that. Their incoming damage, like a raid boss, does so much damage to you, and you can only stand in swirlies to take more damage. Well, that means that Rewind kind of has, like, much more scaling than most spells, you know what I mean? So, and especially in Mythic Plus, like, it goes even beyond that, because you can scale up the key in Mythic Plus, right? Let's go ahead and get a stasis kind of lined up. Oh, aggro. Dispel the tank. I'm just going to insta-dispel this go-around. I don't really care for tracking everyone's debuffs in this key, to be honest. I kind of just want to YOLO it. Shouldn't be too bad. We did glide, so we should be fine to keep casting. I think one of the best, like, quality of life buttons on any healer spec is Spirit Walker's Grace, the Shaman ability where it allows them to cast while moving. And the fact that, like, only really them and Prez Evoker, I think, right? Them and Prez Evoker are the only two specs to have, like, that ability. Because Prez Evoker, you can glide, and then now you can cast while moving. Like, you can cast anything. Like, I'm Living Flaming, I can shoot an Anomaly while moving, keep Living Flaming. Like, as long as you have that hover up, you can cast while moving. And I think that is just, like, phenomenal utility for a healer. It's, like, almost... I feel like it is just the best thing a healer could do is be able to cast while moving. It's insanely useful as a healer. No. Okay, I was just about to meme on the feral druid for soaking that, and then I also soaked it. I'm also trying to stay at an angle where like I would shoot between these puddles, because I don't think our tank maybe doesn't know that we can go all the way over there, maybe. But regardless, I'm going to try to get as much damage as I can in, because we just want this guy to die. I'm also at 2 stacks, so I want to kind of get as much damage off during this 2-stack portion as I can. Yeah, we have everyone at 2 stacks. Oh yeah, we're about to drop puddles out the wazoo. I'm gonna ping over here just so the tank knows that like we're free to move around. It's hopefully that didn't come off as like a toxic ping, like just to kind of remind him if he hasn't seen this mechanic before. It is something you're allowed to do. But how many of you guys have your main picked out? Like, how many of you guys know what you're playing in Midnight already, and either your mind is so made up to where, like, you're positive enough to say it, or you're just locked in, like 100% locked in? Because usually, like, I'm pretty locked in on Mistweaver. But I will be honest, I'm much less locked in than I've ever been. And the design of Mistweaver is amazing. Honestly, it's just the tuning, and I think that's going to change. That's why I am not locked in right now. I'm like, if things don't change, I'll probably change mains. But if things do change, yeah, I'll happily play Mistweaver. It looks so fun. Yeah, I'm curious how many of you guys are so locked in on a healer, and if you are locked in on a healer right now, what healer? Like, what healer has caught your attention so much, drawn you in so much that you know for a fact you're gonna main it? Hey, yo, we got the final grade, the good staff. Love to see it. But yeah, guys, we did not time that key. Had not. I don't think it had anything to do with Evoker. But the key went well. You see just how much Dream Breath heals. You also can lean onto some Living Flame healing. However, a lot of this was like Cleave Living Flames and Free Living Flames and stuff. Those Living Sparks, or what are they called? Life Sparks, do a lot of healing. Life Giver's Flame, because I was Fire Breathing pretty often. Pretty sure I sat at 2 charges for some points, but Life Giver's Flame did get a considerable boost now that you can play Flameshaper. Oh my goodness, you can't speak though. And you can like buff your Fire Breath a lot more. Other than that, anything notable? Your Apex talent. I have been very impressed with the Apex talent. It enhances. I didn't even talk about it, but it enhances your reversion to make it just like a more powerful version that just like bounces around and stuff. It's really cool, and you can get some very good value throughout a dungeon. Apart from that, like nothing big standout. But like I said, Dream Breath is like, dude, it is clearly a standout. And then Living Flame definitely took home the damage, but I really do think, let's check out the overall. Okay, so I wasn't looking at overall. Yeah, I was about to say, I feel like Fire Breath should have been bigger on the overall healing, and for sure it was. Especially, yeah, both of our breaths being our biggest damage sources, because we are Flameshaper just makes sense, and that is good design in my opinion. But guys, Evoker can slam healing. They can slam damage. They have good enough utility because you're a Drakthir Evoker and you have enough knockups and stuff. You can enhance other people's stuns. You have a stun yourself. You don't have a kick, obviously. You're not a shaman. But you have all the healing in the world. You have a fantastic healing profile. And I'll be honest, guys, this is probably the most fun Evoker iteration I have played, admittedly. Like, I feel like this is the first Preservation Evoker build that I confidently can say I could play this for a whole season and not get too tired of it. Whereas before, if you were to tell me like main Evoker, I'd say no, I would just get bored of it. So I really think this is a fantastic iteration of Evoker. I'm excited to see where tuning takes it in comparison to other healers. But right now, it feels like chef's kiss in terms of like balance. It feels like everything's hitting hard enough to have an impact, but not too hard to be broken. And yeah, I'm a huge fan of Preservation Evoker. What do you guys think? And also, what do you guys want to see next? Regardless, thank you guys so much for the support to the channel and to the beta videos. The beta costs so much to get into as a small content creator. So you guys showing the support means more than you could even know. So thank you guys so much. Make sure and like the video on your way out if you liked it. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any more beta or just midnight content, healer content as it comes out. Guys, I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care.